Imagine a single company making more profit in 1 year than Apple and Microsoft and Google combined. This isn't a tech giant. It's not an e-commerce titan. It's an oil company born in the middle of the desert that became the beating heart of one of the world's richest nations. We're talking about Saudi Aramco, the most profitable company on earth. But its story is not just about oil. It's about power, politics, global influence, and how one corporation can shape the destiny of an entire country. Oil in the desert. Our journey begins in the 1930s. Saudi Arabia was a poor desert kingdom. Its main income came from religious pilgrimages to Mecca and Medina. But everything changed in 1933 when the Saudi government signed an agreement with Standard Oil of California, today's Chevron, to search for oil. After years of drilling and disappointment in 1938, the drill finally struck black gold in Dhahran. That moment didn't just change the future of Saudi Arabia, it rewrote the country's entire history. The newly formed Arabian-American oil company, Aramco, began pumping oil in massive quantities. At first, it was fully American-owned, but over the decades, the Saudi government slowly bought shares, until 1980, when it became the sole owner. From that day, Saudi Aramco became more than a company. It became the economic engine of the kingdom. The oil powerhouse. Today, Aramco is the largest oil producer in the world, pumping over 10 million barrels per day. That's about 10% of the world's supply. Its oil reserves are gigantic, over 260 billion barrels. If you lined up every barrel, it could circle the earth 20 times. But the truly shocking part? The profits. In 2022, Aramco made over $160 billion in net income, the highest ever recorded by a public company. That's more than the GDP of entire countries like Hungary or Kazakhstan. This incredible profitability comes from two factors. 1. Massive reserves that are relatively cheap to extract. 2. A near monopoly in Saudi Arabia where oil production is tightly controlled by the state. For the Saudi government, Aramco is a golden goose. The company's revenue funds everything, from public salaries and infrastructure to the extravagant mega projects of the Saudi Vision 2030 plan. Oil, politics, and global influence. Aramco isn't just a business, it's a geopolitical weapon. Because oil is the lifeblood of the global economy, whoever controls its flow holds immense power. Saudi Arabia is the de facto leader of OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and uses production cuts or increases to influence global prices. When OPEC tightens supply, oil prices soar. When it floods the market, prices drop, and countries dependent on oil exports feel the pain. This means that decisions made in Aramco's headquarters in Dhahran can affect the price of gasoline in New York and Paris or Tokyo, opening the vault, the IPO. For decades, Aramco was a mysterious giant, profitable, secretive, and fully state-owned. But in December 2019, something historic happened. Saudi Arabia sold a small portion of Aramco's shares to the public. It was the largest IPO in history, raising $25.6 billion and valuing the company at $1.7 trillion, instantly making it the most valuable listed company in the world. Even after the IPO, the Saudi government still owns more than 94% of Aramco. The listing wasn't about giving up control, it was about attracting foreign investment and showcasing the company's power. Challenges ahead. For all its wealth, Aramco faces serious challenges. The world is slowly moving toward renewable energy. Electric cars, solar power, and global climate agreements are threatening the long-term dominance of oil. Saudi Arabia knows this. That's why it launched Vision 2030, a plan to diversify its economy beyond oil. Mega projects like NEOM, a futuristic $500 billion city in the desert, are part of this vision, and Aramco is funding a huge part of it. But here's the catch. If the world transitions away from fossil fuels faster than expected, Aramco's profits could face a sharp decline. On the other hand, if demand remains strong for decades, Aramco will continue to print money, the symbol of a nation. In Saudi Arabia, Aramco is more than just an oil company. It's a symbol of national pride, a source of jobs, and the backbone of the country's modern identity. The company has invested billions in schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. In many ways, it has built the Saudi state as we know it, but it's also a reminder of how dependent the kingdom is on a single resource. Economists often call this the oil curse, when a nation's entire wealth depends on something that's finite and vulnerable to market swings. Epilogue. A giant standing on oil. Today, Saudi Aramco stands at a crossroads. It remains the most profitable company on the planet, but it faces the uncertainty of a world that's changing its relationship with energy. Whether it adapts and thrives or clings to the past and risks decline will shape not only its own future but also the future of Saudi Arabia and perhaps even the global economy. From the discovery of oil in a poor desert nation to becoming an oil empire worth trillions, Aramco's story is a mix of luck, ambition, and sheer economic power. And while other companies chase technological revolutions, Saudi Aramco continues to extract wealth from deep beneath the desert sands, proving that at least for now, black gold still rules the world.